Monday, 13th of November, 2023. The press service of the command of the Russian Dnipro Group received a message regarding a certain decision on the regrouping of Russian troops and moving them away to the east of the Dnipro River. This message was immediately picked up by leading Russian propaganda media, but after some time, the Russian Federation Ministry called it a provocation. Nevertheless, the situation on the left bank of the Dnipro in the Kherson region for Russians is truly unfavorable. They cannot stop continuous assaults of Ukrainian forces, which have reportedly crossed the river in several locations. Everything was leading to further escalation in the following days, with the Russian command being in front of an important decision. In the other section of the front near Kupiansk, Russian troops attempted to storm Ukrainian positions, using 3 infantry fighting vehicles with personnel. Thanks to the excellent work of aerial reconnaissance, enemy equipment was detected and destroyed while approaching the positions. Then the drone operators of the 14th Separate Mechanized Brigade struck against the surviving enemy infantry. Tuesday, 14th of November, 2023. The Russian command seemed to come up with a decision regarding the situation happening around the left bank of the Dnipro River in the Kherson region. Instead of a tactical retreat, they began regrouping their forces in an attempt to force Ukrainian groups to withdraw. The plan is to create an advantage in the form of 3 tactical groups, and then, with 2 of them to attack along the coastal road from the areas of the village of Korsunka and the village of Cossack camps, while the 3rd, frontal one, will operate through the forest to the south of the village Krinky, trying to push the advanced units of the Ukrainian armed forces out of the northern part of the forest. It is the frontal group that would begin the operation. Surprisingly, Russian command acted in a fairly balanced and logical manner, trying not to create a pillar formation of troops in front of the Ukrainian bridgehead, in conditions of the advantage of the Ukrainian reconnaissance and artillery. They involved exactly as many troops as needed against Ukrainian bridgeheads. This is a rather rare professional quality among Russian army commanders at the operational level, who for the most part tend to try to act impudently, massing their troops in the offensive beyond any reasonable norms. Wednesday, 15th of November, 2023. The Tokmak direction is yet another frontal section with significant development during this week. In particular, over the past few days, north of the village of Verbov, the enemy had suffered several losses. The enemy's 247th Airborne Assault Regiment lost control over the heights northwest of Verbov. West of Robotyne, Ukrainian forces also managed to push back units of the enemy's 136th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade towards the village of Kopani. For months, Ukrainian forces have been attempting to push the enemy back and reach an important strategic point, which is Tokmak. With winter already around the corner and a lack of needed resources, there is little belief in any more significant progress in the area. Thursday, 16th of November, 2023. The Bakhmut area continues to be one of the most bloody sections of this war. Both armies have increased their offensive activity in the area and have conducted several assault attempts. In the video, you can see rare combat footage of the 3rd Assault Brigade. The fighters opened fire on the enemy even before disembarking from the combat vehicle. Ukrainian troops overtook the enemy trenches with a fight and fired at the Russian infantry until the latter retreated. Friday, 17th of November, 2023. In the Avdiivka direction, Russian forces have used a rather unique strategy. They launched an MTLB kamikaze with 2 tons of TNT at the positions of Ukrainian troops. But fortunately, the deadly machine did not reach the target, blowing up on an anti-tank mine on the way. At the same time, important news came from the USA, where the Ministry of Defense announced that Ukrainian pilots are already undergoing extensive training to operate F-16 fighter jets. Earlier this year, the US State Department announced its readiness to approve a third-party transfer of US-made F-16 aircraft to Ukraine. The Netherlands, Denmark, and Norway have announced their intention to make the supply by withdrawing aircraft from their own air forces. Saturday, 18th of November, 2023. The Avdiivka direction, which has been the main focus of Russian forces for the past month, has been more silent during this week. Mainly this is due to the overwhelming number of casualties on the Russian side. To fill up the empty ranks, Russian command decided to use their Storm Z units. They are staffed by convicts and convicted military men and sent on the most suicidal missions. According to the reports, soldiers from these units can be easily considered as future suicide bombers. Using such a strategy, Russian occupation troops are preparing for the third wave of offensive on Avdiivka. Sunday, 19th of November, 2023. In the Kupiansk direction, the enemy command is conducting another regrouping of forces to continue its offensive operations. To the area near Persha-Travneva, the Russian command moved an additional motorized rifle company from the 7th Separate Motorized Rifle Regiment and an assault company of the Storm type from the 11th Tank Regiment. To the south, along the Kuzymivka-Kolomichika line, there is a deployment of advanced units of the 27th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade. In addition, the positions in the area of the Raihorodka are occupied by units of the 380th Motorized Rifle Regiment from the United Army Forces Kursk. The enemy has made several attempts to attack the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces near Lyman Pershi and had partial success. Nevertheless, the attempt to advance further was blocked by fire damage from the Ukrainian forces. The second attack happened southwest of the Persha-Travneva when the Russian division, with the support of 2 infantry fighting vehicles, tried to break through towards the village of Pishchane and the P07 road. The attack was not successful due to artillery and drone fire damage from the Ukrainian units. In conclusion, during this week, Ukrainian forces have eliminated 6,020 personnel, 81 tanks, 87 APCs, 175 artillery systems, 17 MLRs, 121 UAVs of operational tactical level and 8 anti-aircraft systems.